everyone. Welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is your girl, Sonja, and I'm with my man, Miguel.
Yeah, you just did the intro for me. It's okay. Whatever.
I'm already trying to take over. I'm going to take over the world. No.
You said the coffee was strong this morning.
It is. I am like super wired. Well,
Yeah.
I've been detoxing, so
Yeah.
you know this.
You've been fasting?
Yeah. Well, because I want to detox because of all the crap we've been eating.
Yeah.
Lately.
There's been a lot.
You know what's so crazy though? I feel amazing. I do. Like I have energy.
Really?
You know, You know, most people, I guess the first 3 days of detoxing, I would feel sluggish when I would wake up.
How long did you detox for?
5 days.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Damn.
And it was mainly water, but I made some bone broth, organic bone broth. And so whenever I felt I was like starving, I would have like a small cup of it or half a cup.
So we always forget this. We got to get into the plugs.
Yeah.
We always just jump in. But anyway,
do it, babe.
Let's do it. So for those of you that don't know, I'm sure everybody knows by now, the podcast is brought to you by Trust Inc.
Mm-hmm.
And Trust Inc. is
a nationwide mobile agency. So we
what
notarize.
kind of mobile agency?
we notarize.
It's okay, I'll help you.
Well, you think? Yeah. Like this is pretty strong coffee. We
It's
bought
like
this
crack.
machine. We'll get into that a little later, but
A coffee machine.
Yes. Yeah. So espresso. I don't know what you gave me this morning, but
Yeah.
I'm sweating.
All right.
Show?
So
Okay.
Trust Inc. is
A nationwide mobile notary service. We are in every state, obviously.
oh my. All right, we need to.
We work
this
a
is
lot
the
with-
worst ad
I know, right?
ever.
I know. You would think I was drunk,
Okay.
you know?
So Trust Inc. is a nationwide mobile notary signing service. So if you have a title, if you work with title companies, if you're in real estate, and
Maybe
you
a
need,
law firm.
or a law firm, and you need notaries or signing agents, you can contact Trust Inc. Right?
Yes.
You can go to trustinkusa.com. That's
Yes.
trustinkusa.com.
We are also independent associates with
Yes.
Legal Shield, and Legal Shield gives you access to attorneys at the palm of your hand, and we are also nationwide.
It's kind of like it's similar to insurance. Most of the services that you would like to use on a regular basis are covered with your monthly membership. So
Yes.
things like document review, unlimited consultation, letters and phone calls written on your behalf, preparing a will,
Yes.
that sort of thing
Yep.
is all covered with your monthly membership.
And we have an identity theft plan, which is the reason why I got involved with Legal Shield,
Yes.
because I was a victim. And so we don't even talk much about that, but our company does 100% restoration. So if you're ever a victim, and it doesn't matter what area that you're victimized, our licensed investigators, you sign a power of attorney, we do the work. So it's absolutely amazing, and it saved my butt. And we can
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do the whole hour on Trust Inc.?
Oh,
No,
we
I'm just kidding.
so can.
People are like, turn this off. I don't need an hour of advertisement.
Right?
So, and the way that this podcast grows is by sharing it. Thank you for those of you that have shared the podcast. You can go to oppositesattractpod.com, and there you can subscribe to the podcast. You can watch the YouTube channel. So you can listen to it. You can watch it right there on the website, and you can subscribe. So that's oppositesattractpod.com. And if you want to look us up on any of the social media, it's at Opposite Pod.
Yay. So, do my eyes look wider
And
today?
We have an
Answer my
we
question.
have an Amazon associate link on our website. So if you guys are going to buy anything through Amazon,
Yes.
you can go to our website, oppositesattractpod.com, and you can go to support the show at the top, and it'll take you right to the Amazon link. So you just click on it, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. You can buy whatever you were normally going to buy, and they kick us back a couple cents for whatever you buy.
Yes.
So thank you guys for your support. We appreciate it.
So now, do
Now,
my eyes look better?
Your eyes?
Do my eyes look better, everyone? Those that are watching? Bigger? Because
Rounder?
I'm telling you, like YouTube, I don't care what it is you want to learn. Like, I suck at putting makeup on.
Speaking
I've
of
never
sucking,
been. Shut up. I've never been big. Like with makeup, I feel like I just like throw it on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna YouTube this thing because I noticed. Like I was asking, I'm like, does my face look like round?
you know what? Yeah,
Because it totally does. You know. Ooh, did you guys hear that?
I think you hit the.
That was a cool effect.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, you're right. With YouTube, like all the things that I ever fix around the house, the cars, the microwave, the stove, the fridge, like really all the stuff.
How to make a dog house.
How to make no, for real. How to start a podcast, how to make a dog, like all the shit that I learned how to fix, the majority of it is through YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, when I was, I think working, when we used to have the Jag and that thing was a piece of shit and it would break down.
It was so pretty though.
It was a really
like the
nice
girlfriend.
looking car.
When you get a girlfriend, she's like 100, like just hot, like perfect in every
And dumb as
area,
shit.
but she's ugly on the inside. Not dumb as shit, ugly on the inside.
Yeah.
Pretty on the outside, ugly on the inside.
Okay. So, no, but you know what? And YouTube, it gets a bad rap sometime because you can spend so much time on YouTube. Like you go down this rabbit hole, like you watch one video and then it suggests other videos. But I mean, it's a huge resource when you're trying to do stuff.
Yes.
When you're trying to build a website,
Or your makeup.
your makeup, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, warning, I've been going through something. My throat.
Oh, yeah.
So, if I start hacking up a storm, don't mind me. I'm going to live.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, my voice sounds different today.
I know it's turning me on.
I like it.
Sing to me, baby, sing.
No. Everybody will turn this off.
Speaking of singing,
Yes.
dude, that was like I've been to bars, like karaoke bars, and I've never sang in front of a crowd. Like
That was yesterday was your first time?
Yeah.
So we went to our daughter's friend's birthday party.
Best friend.
Yeah, our daughter's best
So
friend's birthday
cute.
party. And they had a karaoke set up.
And it was the
What
shit.
did you? Oh, you sang a
Like,
Mary J. Blige song.
Yes, but it was like a real karaoke machine. Okay,
Yeah.
not this funky. Like we have a karaoke machine, so generic, right? Like the microphone sucks. This one was like the real deal. You know?
Well, the one that we have is for Audrey. Like we bought it for her,
Yeah.
so it's not like the real deal. Like, I mean, if we were into karaokeing and having people over, then you get a real deal karaoke machine.
that was super fun.
That one
And I was sober, by the way. So, you know, I was like proud of myself. I went up there and I did it, you know, and
Yeah.
it was fun,
Yeah, that was cool.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
And
it's
also,
so sweet though
Yeah.
to watch their relationship. Like I've never had
talking about
a
Audrey
best,
and Nadia.
yes, like a best friend. Like you know, at that age,
Yeah.
you know, like they've known each other now 2 years and they are so close. And speaking of, Audrey actually bought her a gift with her money.
That's good.
Which made me so proud because that's the first time that she
Yeah.
actually went out of her way, spent her own money
Yeah.
to buy someone a gift.
That's cool.
Because she bought me pearls, but I paid for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's funny.
they did a show for us, and I put it up on Facebook.
I haven't seen it yet. I got to
And
check it out.
They said that they've been practicing for 2 years. Oh, it is
Really?
so adorable. And both of them are a little shy. So that's why they didn't do it for the entire party. They did it for the moms only.
Yeah.
But
Then
I
they said
recorded it.
They can record it, and then the rest of us can watch
Yeah.
it later.
But I was in tears. It was so sweet to
Yeah.
see them together. And you can tell that they put time into this.
That's really cool.
You know?
And like their friendship. Like, I mean, if you think about it, there's only a couple of friends that I've had for like a really long time. And those are really like my friends from New York.
But how old were you when you built these friendships?
So there is one friend, my friend Juan, and Juan Carlos. And man, when I used to go visit my grandmother, so in New
How
York,
old were you?
so in New York, you have these hallways with a bunch of apartment doors. And when we would go to my grandmother's apartment, we would pass his door, and he would always put up his drawings, or his mom would put up the drawings so that people that walked down the hallway could see his drawings on the door. They were taped to the door. And my grandmother told me, she's like, I want to introduce you to the little boy down the hall. And I
Aw.
was like 5.
Wow.
I was like
Okay.
5.
Okay.
And he was 6. And I mean, every time when I would go to my grandmother's house, I would go to his house.
Yeah.
And we would play.
Yeah.
And we would be playing in his apartment.
Yeah.
And when it was time to eat, because the hallways, they're like concrete. So my grandmother would open her door and just yell, Miguel Angel! And it just echoes through all the apartments on that floor. And I'm like, oh shit, gotta go. My grandmother's calling me.
Yeah.
But I mean, 5 years old.
That's
We've
awesome.
been literally friends for 30 years.
Yeah. I know. It was cool when we went back to New York, like
Oh,
to
yeah.
see,
Him,
just
his mom.
and meet your friends. And that's kind of cool because, like I said,
No, and not just Juan, but I mean, I have all my friends
You have
from
a-
that building.
right.
I mean, we all grew up together.
Yeah.
And we're all about the same age. We all went to school together,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
It's cool to see them
Yes.
start that, that friendship.
Yeah. And that's one reason, that I wouldn't want to move. Like, I love this area, is because I don't want to break that apart. Like that friendship.
Well, and that's one of the reasons that we moved out here.
Yeah.
Is because the schools were better. And we decided that, I mean, their first few years of school, they went to Audrey's anyway. She went to 3 different schools.
Yeah. I was trying to because we lived in the West Valley in Arizona and the schools aren't rated the best out there. So I was trying to find a school that I feel would, just be the right school for her.
Yeah, and I
know?
think it's important, like, for her stability, to be able to have friends that she grows up with through the grades, which is something, like, when you think about military families, like, that's tough.
Yeah.
When you have to travel around and, just like Chris, we were hanging out with his family a few weeks ago. I mean, they go to school in London, and then they move to North Carolina. Then they move, so, yeah, that's tough.
Francesca was
It's
talking
tough on the
about
family.
that.
But we appreciate those that do it
Yeah,
because
definitely.
that's
Because
something. And it's
even
not
though
just
they
the
say,
person.
Yeah, we
that's
live in
in.
a free, country. Is it really free? Somebody's paying the price.
Yeah, and they're doing it. And it's not just a military person. Like their family has to put, because Francesca's not in the military.
Right.
His kids aren't in the military.
But it affects her.
But it affects the whole family. So
Right.
thank you for all
Yes.
of you that
Yeah.
defend our freedom. We
Yes,
appreciate it.
definitely. So that
So-
wasn't on my list, but
No.
it was in my heart.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
I'm gonna stab you.
So, do you want to get into your list? You got
Yeah.
anything? Or do you want to
Well,
talk
hey.
about the concert?
I don't even have that on my
I didn't
list, but I
either.
knew it was gonna come
Yeah.
up, just because it was the best. Like it totally was. And
So for those that follow the Facebook group, you guys have already seen, we posted pictures of a concert that we went to a few days ago.
yes.
And we saw Nas and Mary J.
Mary
Blige.
J. Blige, my
which-
girl.
Is her favorite singer.
Yes.
And my favorite rapper.
Yes.
So we had to go see them. And we had a blast.
We
It
did.
was so much
Yeah.
fun.
It was, again, just a bit emotional. My sister that passed away back in 2007, that was her favorite artist. And there was a song that they played that reminded me of her. And every time I listened to, before I wouldn't even be able to listen, like when she,
Yeah.
when she passed away and it was still like really new, I couldn't listen to her because I could not cry, not cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was just fun. Miguel had a blast. No, because I was detoxing. I didn't want to drink. So, I'm
she
like,
was
"Oh,
my DD.
good."
So I took advantage of the situation.
Yeah. But we still had a great time.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it was fun.
We posted some pictures. I don't know if I posted them in our group page or not, but if I didn't, I will. He was drunk. He doesn't even remember taking
I
a picture
remember
with that.
that's the only part.
the
But now
stranger.
that you mention it, I do remember.
Oh, you do now?
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered if you didn't remind me. But I remember the guy walking by.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And we stopped. Yeah.
Like we saw him at a baseball game that we attended, and he was working at that baseball game.
Yeah.
And then we saw him again at the concert. And so Miguel's talking to him and he's like, hey, let's take a picture. And the guy's okay.
Which is
Yeah.
not like me at all. Usually I'm like, hey, there's that guy.
That's me.
And I just let him walk by.
Yeah.
And
No,
don't
that's
say shit.
totally me. Like,
Yeah.
I will take pictures with strangers like all the time and stop strangers all the time. And
Yeah.
Miguel asked him, so, you asked him something about his work. And he's like, hey, they pay me to party. I'm like, that's what's up.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm like, that's what's up. So that was pretty fun.
So, and man,
Oh.
the songs, what?
So Miguel, we're back on our keto, okay?
Oh, okay.
And we've been
Yeah.
so good. Like, we've been so good. And every time we go out drinking or on our dates, our thing to do is to buy carne asada fries.
How is that said again?
Carne
Carne.
asada fries. Oh,
All right. So not everybody that listens to the podcast is
Okay.
from Arizona or from the Southwest where we have that
Okay.
Mexican American influence.
all right.
So for those of you that aren't here, carne asada fries is just a bed of French fries with
Fries.
carne asada on top,
Yes.
and then they put cheese, guacamole, sour cream, and pico.
Beans.
And some places
Yeah.
they put beans on
Uh-huh.
it. It is so bad for you.
But it tastes like heaven.
But anytime we go out and we party a little bit, like that is what we get when
That's
we
our
come back.
to-go.
When we're on our way home.
So this one, he is like, hey, you know what I want?
Oh,
I look
man.
at him. I'm like, carne asada fries. And usually I would give in. If I was drinking, I'm like, yes.
Oh, and I was pushing hard.
Oh, he was singing to me. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that song, Just Fine from Mary J. Blige.
I
So-
wish we could play it.
I know.
It'll
If
get
I
pulled
wasn't
off- we'll get
driving,
pulled
I
off
would
of
have
YouTube.
recorded you. But so the song came on, and I'm over here singing,
How does it go?
driving. I don't know all the words.
So
I
it-
should know all the words. Just fine, fine, fine. But I don't know the words
Fine,
before
fine,
that.
Fine. Something like
Yeah,
that. So
but
I'm saying
Miguel
I want
is-
carne asada fries,
Fries,
fries, fries, fries. Yeah. So I'm singing this on the whole way
Yeah.
back to the house.
And he was pushing me, and I'm like, listen, you are going to thank
Yeah.
me tomorrow that I did not give in to you.
Yeah. You know what? And that is one thing, like this was a special situation.
Yeah.
We went to a concert.
Yeah.
We don't go to concerts all the time.
Yeah.
We got a few coming up, but we don't go to concerts all the time. When you're on a diet, it is not good to go out and drink, because even drinking, I wasn't drinking bad stuff. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense.
Right.
But like when I was at the house.
Was that a Diet Coke?
Yes.
Okay.
So
A Diet
I
Coke.
had, what did I have? I had like
don't know.
it was kind of like a Red Bull and vodka, but it was like 0 sugar, 0 carbs. So it wasn't really, I mean, it messes you
So
up, but it's not that bad.
It was healthy.
It was a healthy drink. And then when we got to the venue, then I got whiskey and Diet Coke.
Right.
So it's, I toned it down. It really wasn't that bad
Right.
as far as a diet goes.
Yeah.
But afterwards, like, I want the carne asada fries. And then the next day, like, I wanted bad stuff. I had some
Yeah.
M&Ms.
Did you?
Yeah. But
Well, this is the thing, okay? Like, the reason why, like I told you.
I wanted to go hard. Like,
Listen.
I wanted some other stuff.
Listen, Linda.
What's up?
Life is about having balance. It really is. It's about
Yeah.
having balance, because if we go hard, like
Yeah.
keto,
Yeah.
strict keto, it's going to be difficult if every now and again you don't have maybe 2 M&Ms
Yeah.
or, you know what I'm saying?
And this is the thing, though, is that sometimes you have to be careful with allowing yourself to let go, because there's a lot of times when you're tricking yourself into doing the wrong thing. You're like, you know what? I worked out hard all week and I've earned it.
Right.
But the thing is that you've been eating like shit for the last 6 months.
Right.
So maybe you should go 4 weeks without screwing it up. And then maybe you can allow yourself to cheat.
Right.
But you can trick yourself into like, you know what? I've been doing so good and I deserve this or whatever,
Right.
That's not right. And then
Yeah.
you're just going to fall right back into the same old shit.
Yeah, because I wanted to have a drink. We were at Mary J. Blige and Nas's concert. And I'm like, man, I picked a great week to detox because we had a birthday party yesterday. We have another one today.
Later on today.
And so I'm so proud of myself, but I feel so good. Like I'm full of energy. I feel great, you know? So detoxing is a good thing. It's a good thing for everything. And you hear people that do it, you know, like Stuart and Lori. They were detoxing from drinking. It doesn't have to be from, just, you know, it could be from certain foods. It could be from, you know, if you drink, you know, detox without a drink, you know, just. So.
You know what? One of the podcasts that I listen to, and they're super funny. It's one of Joe Rogan's podcasts. I mean, it's part of his show. But him and his friends every year in October, they get together and they do what they call Sober October.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me about that.
And it is a shit show. Like they figure out like a fitness challenge that they're going to do. They all wear like fitness trackers.
Yeah.
And not only are they not allowed to drink, smoke weed, do any drugs at all, but they have to meet certain fitness challenges. So it's really cool. But there's one guy that's on there. He's a comedian, Bert Kreischer. And he's big. He's out of shape. He's known for partying. Like, he will party after the show with people from the show.
Right.
Like, he takes his shirt off during the show, and he gets hammered. And but he says that he's gonna beat Joe Rogan at, you know, the fitness. Like, he gets it in his head. Like, if I want to run a marathon today, I'll go do it. You know, and he feels like his willpower will get him, you know, he'll beat anybody just through sheer willpower.
Right.
And Joe Rogan's like, I'm going to kill this guy because he's going to try to keep up with me and I'm going to kill him.
Right.
He's like, because this is my shit. Like, my life is fitness and, you know, working out. So he tries to kill his buddy. But those are funny. I would check those out if I were you.
So speaking of fitness, this is something I haven't talked to you about. Feel my hand. It's
you sweating?
No
Holy
joke.
Shit.
It's no joke. I'm like a crackhead right now.
So what's up? Speaking of fitness.
So, you know how I have my picture on my phone, which we're using right now. And he's like, why do you have a picture of yourself? Well, 2 years ago when I was doing strict keto, we just moved in here. Like, I think I looked my best.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Yeah. No, you still look good, babe.
Oh, you're so sweet. So I paid him to say that.
Joey knows why.
Actually, I paid you this morning.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, you know, like I have big arms and it runs in our family, but it's not just hereditary. It's something that you can change.
It's not hereditary.
It's something that you can change.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what? And I was just thinking about this. I haven't talked to you about it, but I have that picture on my phone and I was thinking of hiring, which I haven't talked to you about, like a personal trainer, but a hardcore trainer.
Okay.
You know, because I've talked about like doing competition, like featherweight.
You've mentioned that before.
Like that. Yeah. And it's something that I trained for in the past, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, it'd be super cool to do it in my 40s. Like, look, my very
your best at
like,
your 40s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my reward for doing that would be my first tattoo. And there's one that I've seen it, and I seen it on, I don't know where it was, but it was hot. Like, it's a cherry blossom tree.
Okay.
And it's a full body though. So it would run all
So you're going to go
across.
from no tattoos to a full body tattoo.
Well, just listen to me. That's what I'm talking about it. But it will go all along the side of my body, all the way, like towards my
That was the side of your titty.
My waist. Yeah.
Okay.
And my butt.
Okay.
That
seems cool.
But I don't know. I'm still I'm like but you know.
might start something and get into being tattooed and all that.
Well, I love it. Well, now, like, it's different today. Before, back in the day, we're like, man, that's ghetto. Like, the way I would see it, I was judgmental. We are all judgmental. So if you're watching this, we're all judgmental. You know,
yeah. I judge everybody.
You know, I'm trying. No,
I'll be like, look at this.
Now I'm better. Like, I'm better now. You know. But anyways, I back then I'm like, I don't have one tattoo.
Yeah.
And I never cared for them. But these days I'm seeing women with tattoos, and I'm like, that is so pretty. Like, that looks hot. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, yes, when
I don't think that is so pretty.
it's hot. Like, it's cool because they're stories. It's art.
Well, for some people, they're stories.
Yeah.
For some people, they just like getting tattoos of different
So
stuff.
I went back to work, and I was visiting some of my title companies doing pop buys, which is truly fun. Anyways, I passed by one of my friends' mortgage company, and I wanted to see if he was in to say hi.
Yeah.
And there was a gal sitting there, and I went and introduced myself and asked for my friend, and he wasn't in. So her and I started talking, and I seen her tattoos, and they looked really cute. Sorry. They looked really good.
Yeah.
And so she mentioned that she got her first tattoo when she was 40. So I'm like, wait, what?
No shit.
That's what I said. So then again, this has been festering in my mind.
I don't know how old my mom was when she got her first tattoo.
Yeah.
I wonder. Because I don't think it was like when she was super young.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I hear they're painful, but I'm like, you know what? I gave birth.
Yeah.
Home
no,
births,
you'll be fine. Yeah. And you like pain.
So what are
Anyway.
So what are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
No, I think that's cool.
Really?
Yeah.
But how does it look like when you get all wrinkly and stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Who gives a shit?
Are you going to love me with a
I'll still love
saggy
you.
cherry blossom tree?
Hanging down to your knees.
my cherry
shit.
that was up here on my boob is going to be down here underneath.
It used to be on the side of your boob. Now it's by your belly button.
Right? We're like, babe, what happened to your tree?
Even
you
your
better
belly
water
button,
that.
Even your belly buttons moved too. But so I got my first tattoo when I was 18, and I haven't gotten any tattoos ever since. You know what? I've wanted another tattoo for a long, long time.
You have.
And I've had it in my head, but it's one of these things that, like, I think of everything else before the tattoo.
Right, because they cost. I mean,
they cost money, and especially when you want to get one. So a tattoo is not something that you want to skimp out on. You want to go to a good artist that's going to do what you want them to do. Obviously, because everybody, it's forever. So yeah, you want it done right. But man, when I got my first tattoo, I hid it from everybody. Like, I got it as soon as I turned 18. Yeah, and I was with my family. We went on a trip to the Bahamas, and we went snorkeling. I mean, I was a pro.
Fun.
I was a pro at hiding it. And I had my back. I would be around the house without a shirt on because it's on the middle of my back. So I would just walk around the house without a shirt on. But I made sure that I always had my back to everybody.
How did you
like,
do that?
My back was against, like, it would be, if I was talking to people, it would be like against the wall.
Yeah, but you're walking. If your dad walks behind you, then what?
Well, no, I kept my back to everybody. I made sure, like, I'm always facing people, looking at them, so that nobody can see my back. And we went snorkeling. I would have a towel and hang it over my back, and they wouldn't see it.
Ah, you're sneaky. So the quiet ones are the sneaky ones.
It wasn't until one day I was sitting on the couch, and I had a tank top, like a wife beater on, and you could see the
Does everybody know what a wife beater is?
Yeah, it's the white undershirt.
I'm
the
sure
tank
not
top.
everybody knows.
So, I think they're called A shirts for the technical term. But anyway, I put those on whenever I have to teach Sonja a lesson. But no, so I was sitting on the couch, and my cousin, I think she saw the top of the tattoo sticking out, and she reached and pulled it down, and she's like, "Oh, a cat." Because it's a lion. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, a cat." And she was a baby. Or she wasn't a baby. She was a little girl.
Yeah.
And my aunt was sitting on the couch. She's like, "Let me see." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck. I'm busted." And then everybody found out.
Yeah.
But I had already had it for, like, I think I was already in the military at that time. Yeah. I may have been.
We should get a Well, we gotta wait.
The one that I want is, I've told you about it, but I grew up in New York. And there's a train which they don't. So the way they have the trains now, they're all silver. The trains that are all over the city. Back in the day, those trains used to be red. So what I wanted to get was on the inside of my arms, is to get the train on both sides, and then have like a tunnel by my armpit, And the trains back in the day used to be known for being tagged up. Like they used to get tagged by all the graffiti people.
Right.
So I wanted to get the train going through my arms and then have it all tagged up with different things that mean stuff to me. You know?
Right.
I thought that would be pretty cool. And it would be the background of the train would be that red color from the old school trains.
That's cool. Yeah. Anyways.
But I always kind of like, all right, so I mean, I don't even remember how much that stuff costs. I don't know if it'd be like $700 or $1,000.
Right.
But if I have $700, I probably want to do something else with it, you know?
Yes. So the gal that I ran into, she said she has someone who does all her tattoos, and he's experienced, but he's not expensive. So, hey, maybe we can, when we can hit him up. No.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Yeah.
So what's up, babe? What do you have anything you want to hit on your list?
I do. Let's just go.
I was listening to a podcast earlier in the week. Actually, it's a podcast of a cousin of ours that I haven't met yet. We haven't met yet. So a few episodes ago, or I don't know, now we have a whole bunch of episodes in the past. So one of the episodes we talked about going to Spain for a family reunion. And the next family reunion is next year in Puerto Rico, which we're going to go to. And when we got back from Spain, I got a text either from my mom or my godmother saying like, hey, check this out. This is one of your cousins. Like he's, part of the family. And he's a comedian in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And he's I don't know too much about the comedy scene in Puerto Rico, but it seems like he's probably the biggest comedian in Puerto Rico. And he gets some really good guests on his podcast. Like he had the boxer Miguel Cotto from Puerto Rico. I mean, he fought Canelo, fought Pacquiao. Like he's one of the best boxers, in history. Also, he had Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. And he just had J Balvin from, he's a huge artist, like huge. He's got some of the top songs in the world. But he had this guy on there, J Balvin, and he was asking him, I don't know if he already knew or if J Balvin told him, but he said like he gets up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's just what he does. He's like, every day I wake up at 5 in the morning and I start, he works out or, he'll meditate or do whatever, but he gets up every single day at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And then he was telling him that if you do that every day, so I kind of did the math on that. I was like, so if you wake up every day, let's say what is an average time of waking up is what? Like 8 o'clock?
I would say.
Something like that, right?
Well, no, because...
So let's say you work a 9 to 5. So maybe you get up at 8 to be at work at 9, right?
If you're a woman, you wake up at 6.
Okay. Well, let's just say 8 o'clock is because that's what I use to do the math. All right. 8 o'clock.
Slow down.
So if you were to get up at 5 o'clock every day, compared to somebody that gets up at 8, at the end of a year, you would have 1,095 more hours than the person that gets up at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
And that's 45 and a half days. Like you have an extra month in the year to do, like if you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to build a podcast, if you're trying to do whatever the hell it is you want to do, you have, it's weird because you're making more time. Like you have 45 more days than everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
By getting up. Yeah.
And not only that, but we get up early. Like I get up with Miguel and I don't need to get up that early, but I wake up at before 4:30. What time do I? 4:15. Because you have to be out of the house about 4:30.
I get up at 4. You get up shortly after.
Yeah.
4:15, 4:20.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And I, make the kids lunch, their breakfast, all that good stuff. But then I start my self-care, which is, prayer, reading a good book that's going to fill you, up for the day.
I'll fill you up for the day.
So that's my me time. So even if you don't have a podcast you're working on or a business that
But
you're
everybody
working on.
has something they're working on.
You know, well, maybe not everybody, but you know, still, like, you can wake up early for
And take time
self-care.
for yourself.
Exactly. Especially women. Like, you know, there's so many things we have going on.
Yeah.
If you're married, kids, you have a job, you know, you have a lot of things going on. So when are you putting time aside to take care of you?
Yeah.
So use that time, you know, to read something good. If you're wanting to try something new, that's the time you do the research, you know, and maybe work out.
Yeah.
You know, get it knocked out first thing in the morning and start your day off right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what most
true.
successful people do. You
No,
read that.
like that is one of the
self-help
top
books.
things.
Yeah,
that is one of the top things that they get up
Yes.
before everybody.
Yep.
I mean, and they squeeze the time out of the day, which is getting up. Part of it is getting up early.
Yeah.
And for people like me that get up early, and like I have to get up early because I have to go to work.
Right.
Even if you were to get up early just on the weekends, which kind of sucks because you've been getting up early all week and you want
Right.
to take a break.
Right.
But even if you get up early on the weekends, that still turns out to 312 hours just on the weekends,
Right.
which ends up being 13 days,
Yeah.
13 extra days in the year for you to work on whatever you want to work on.
The thing is, if you're waking up early, guess what?
What?
You
You're
have
going to
go-
bed early.
Yeah. And that's not something I used to say I was a night owl. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl. That's what you tell yourself. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, that's something that you can change. And
Yeah.
it's something that I've changed because you and I, like, we crash out together about the same time.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mention it, I might get better sleep if I was to get up early on the weekends too. Because then I would be tired at my regular time. And then I
Gotcha.
would sleep because I have a hard time throughout the week. Like actually, I can pull it up. I mean, there's days throughout the week. The Monday's tough. Monday through Wednesday is usually pretty tough because like I'm getting used to my normal schedule
Right.
again.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
if you
Your
like
routine.
this past Monday, I mean, Monday I slept 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
Tuesday, because I'm working on it, I slept 3.5 hours. Actually, no, this is different because this I had the
No,
AC.
that day though, you
But
couldn't. Yeah.
Typically, it's between 4 and 6 hours. 6 hours is like the most I sleep during the week.
Yeah.
It's normally on average around 5 hours,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I wake up tired.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I don't
we
know.
need-
Maybe that's not a bad thing. I know you can't make up sleep, but
Right. I don't know though. People say, "Oh, you have to at least get 8 hours." 8 hours. Do you? Like everybody's different. You know, like I can go to sleep like late and wake up early and feel good. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. We got to do some research just
Yeah.
to, you know.
no,
figure that out.
there's a lot of research. Actually, Joe Rogan had somebody on there. I can't remember his name, but he was like an expert on sleep. And that's one thing that I remember him saying was
What?
that you cannot make up sleep. Like you can't just be like, "Oh, I'll sacrifice the day, but I'll make it up tomorrow." Like it
Or
doesn't
take a
work.
nap?
It doesn't work that
What about
way.
if you take a nap?
Maybe taking a nap, but I don't know. I remember him saying like it's just it's not something that you can make up.
Yeah.
Like you have to get it in.
But did he talk about, like, did he say, "Oh, you should get 8 hours of sleep"?
I don't remember. I don't
Okay.
remember. I have to look at
Anyways.
it. But
Oh, interesting.
so speaking of, sleep, and I think, was it on the last podcast or I don't know if it was a Facebook Live, you were talking about, sometimes just relaxing. Like you have to relax and just take things as they are or whatever. It was a real calming type pod or message that you were putting out there. And when you're talking about that, like we haven't talked about him in a while, but I was thinking about Jocko.
Yeah.
There is no relaxing. There is no taking it in. It's like, let's go. Let's get some,
Dude.
right?
Okay.
And Monday was one of those days for me. Monday was one of those days. Like, so Monday I go to work work 10 hours. I get home at about around 4 o'clock. And at 4:30, I have to be leaving the house to go to jujitsu. And so I leave, we go to jujitsu, and I help with the kids' class, and then I stay for the adult class.
Right.
So the adult class doesn't get done till 7 o'clock. By the time I'm getting undressed and I'm out of, the school, it's probably about 7:10, 7:15. So one of the first things I do is I look at my phone, see what I missed, and I have text messages from Sonia about the AC in our rental house is having some trouble.
Right.
Like the fan has a frame that it sits on, and it's cracking. And that fan spins. So like I automatically know this is not something that I can put off.
Yeah.
Because the fact that this thing spins in a circle, it's making the whole thing shake. And the more it shakes, the more it cracks. The more it cracks, this thing's just going to fall apart.
Right.
And if it hits the coils and, it all the refrigerant escapes because it hit the coils and cracked,
No bueno.
we got a way bigger problem.
Right.
So now it's 7. So yeah, it's 7:30 or it's about 7:30. I'm getting out of jiu-jitsu, and now I know that I have to go to the other house to fix this shit. I don't have any tools, so I have to go back to the house first. And our other house is almost an hour away from the house that we live in now.
Yeah.
And I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be at work the next day.
I know. I felt so bad.
But it's one of the, like, you're telling me, like,
do?
can't you fix it on the weekends? But you don't
Right.
understand exactly, how serious this thing can turn into.
Yeah.
So it seems like, oh, it's just cracked. You can go on the weekend and fix it. But I'm like, no, this has to get done now.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm kind of trying to trick myself into thinking, like, maybe you can go and do it. And then at a certain, I'm like, fuck it. It's time.
Yeah.
So I called you up, and I'm like, hey, pack me something to eat.
Yeah.
I'll eat it on the road.
And I had your dinner ready.
Yeah, you did. And I just packed up my tools and left. And
Yeah.
I didn't get home that day till
Late.
I think it was, I didn't leave the west side of Phoenix till 11, almost 11.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get home till almost midnight. And I
Yeah.
was working outside, so it was hot. So I had to take a shower and lay down. So I got 3.5 hours of sleep that day.
Yeah. Those are the things, like, that's one of the things, like, why I love you. Like, you just have that.
But
You
the
know?
thing is that there's times that you can't think about it too much.
Yeah.
You have to just, all right, this shit
Do
needs
it.
to get done.
Yep.
And there are no excuses.
Just
Just
do it.
fucking do it. And the more you think about it, the harder you're going to make it on yourself.
Yeah. So when you brought that up, like, that's the thing that I love about you. And that's the thing that drives me crazy about you. Like, so it's kind of funny because I was thinking, like, when you were on your kick, like, oh my God, when Miguel gets focused, he gets freaking,
You
like,
talking about like the diet and stuff?
laser focus. This dude was working out like a freaking maniac. Like, we have a pull-up bar in our house, and he was driving me nuts, right? Because it's like when he gets disciplined, you're talking about Jocko, right? Like, you're talking about Jocko's like, there's no sleep, there's no giving up, go, go, go.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says.
Get some. And Miguel's like, yeah. Like, I could totally.
Yeah. No, I mean.
But there was no, like, and I love that about him, but that's the thing that drives me also crazy, because there's no stopping, there's no changing his mind, there's no letting up whatsoever. If I wanted,
Yes, but the thing is that when you've been fucking off for such a long time,
yeah.
that's what you need to do sometimes.
And me, I'm like this. During that time when he was like that, I'm like, "Woosah." Like, I'm learning how to meditate and be centered and slow it down. And he's like a freaking crackhead.
Yeah, no. No,
But we were at opposite, like,
Yes.
at that time,
And I need to kind of, maybe not to that extreme, but I need to start getting more
Yeah.
focused. But the thing is that it doesn't happen until when I get fed up and I make a decision, and I'm like, all right, that's it. No more fucking around.
Yeah.
It's time to get busy.
Yeah.
And Yeah. Like at that time, I didn't start work till 6. So I was
Yeah.
getting up and I would go for a run. And I just made up numbers. I was like, every morning I'm going to wake up, or every single day,
Yeah.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to do 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. And then 100 sit-ups was too easy. So I ended up doing like 250 sit-ups.
It was too easy.
Well, sit-ups aren't, I mean, it's not that hard. But
Yeah.
so I would get up at 4 a.m. and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would go run. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would do the push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups in the morning. And then I
Yeah.
started doing squats too.
By the way, he would also work out at work during lunch.
And then the days that I would run, I would come home and do the 100 push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. Because I said I was going to do it every day. I would do it Saturday, Sunday. And then at work, there was a couple guys that we would do push-ups and pull-ups with them until we got in trouble for doing pull-ups off of the stands at work. They said we
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
And then I would work out at lunch.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu at that time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was working out like freaking crazy.
Anyways, I just thought it was funny because we were opposite. Like I was trying to center myself because usually I'm like a crackhead, but not that I'm focused because I have so much going
Yeah.
on that I didn't know how to slow them down, be present, be focused. And so I started doing that at the time he started, that he decided that he was going to go crazy.
But you know what? I think I was talking about this yesterday, that the hardest things are vacations, because it's just days after days of just doing whatever the hell you want.
Right.
But if you have that balance, like, you can cheat, you can do whatever, and it doesn't really mess you up that bad. And if you stay disciplined, like if you stay working out, if you stay eating right for the most part, it doesn't affect you that much. It's when you say, fuck it, I'm taking the next 2 weeks off.
Which we do.
And we do that,
We
and
do.
it puts a huge dent. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll gain almost 10 pounds in 1 week.
No, I did not weigh myself. I just weighed myself the other day and I was at 136, which is okay. It's okay, but I
Yeah.
was like 128.
Yeah.
But that I weighed myself after I detoxed.
Yeah.
I would not weigh myself before. There's like no way. I would have been in depressed mode. Women, you know how we get, right? But I
Yeah.
can tell by the way my clothes fits. Anyways, we're on track. So know that if if you've had some goals down and, maybe on a diet or looking to eat healthier, because I don't like to call it a diet,
Yeah. It's just
and you
eating-
drop the
eating
ball on us, it's okay. Like, forgive yourself and get back on track.
And don't make it up. If you missed something, like, let's say I didn't allow myself excuses, but if for some reason I didn't do the pull-ups or the push-ups, don't add to it. Just pick it up. Like, if
Yeah.
you didn't do it, don't say, okay, tomorrow I'll do 200.
Right.
I'll do the 100 that I was supposed to do plus the 100 that I missed. Just
Right.
get back on track and just do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Because you'll just put yourself in a hole, and then you see these numbers and you're like, well, I'm never going to dig myself out, so screw it.
Yeah. So opposites attract. We talk about relationships,
Yes.
right? And so everyone always hears me, and I've interviewed couples that have been married for 50 years, and my first question to them is, how did you make it work? Like, what's the one thing you feel has kept you guys together?
Yeah.
And usually it's communication.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would agree, communication,
Yeah.
right?
It's important.
So my friend Donna in New Jersey sent me a little clip from Nancy Nash. And so I'm listening. I guess she has a podcast, or I don't know if it was an interview. So I'm listening to this thing. And Nancy Nash said that the answer to a great relationship is not communication, but a daily BJ. So ladies,
A blowjob?
we got to put some work in.
I agree 100% with what this, I don't know who she is, but this lady is a genius.
Nancy Nash. I don't know. But it was hilarious when I was listening to this. You
Yeah,
know? I'm like,
that's funny.
maybe, that and some communication.
I
Perfect
agree.
marriage.
100%.
I just thought that was hilarious. And I thought you would like that too. So,
Yep.
and some of our listeners, I'm sure you're like, yes, get the word out. Get the word out. I'm definitely sharing this podcast.
So, speaking of doing things that you don't want to do when you have to do them, kind of like what you just talked. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so on Monday, I was telling you that I was exhausted. And then Tuesday came around and I had some pretty good excuses for not going to jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
I could have went on Wednesday instead because my schedule is Monday, Tuesday, and Friday.
Right.
At the minimum. But I was exhausted on Tuesday because I was out all night working the night before. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go on Wednesday. I mean, I'm fucking worn out.
Yeah. Eric.
And the whole day at work, I'm just making excuses. Like, you know what? You can fucking go home, lay down, take a nap, and then just relax Tuesday, and then make it up on Wednesday.
Yep.
And then I was like, fuck it.
Yep.
I'm going.
Yep. It's like having a little,
yeah.
you know, what they say, good
I'm on
angel.
3.5 hours of sleep, and I'm tired. And I went to jiu-jitsu anyway. And that day for me in the adult class, I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was one of those days that, I mean, anybody that practices jiu-jitsu, you have certain days, you have good days, and then you have days where you learn a lot.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
Because you get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah.
So, but it was one of those days that, I mean, everything was working. I was like, fuck, man, like, you can really see the progress. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And if I decided not to go, I may not have had that day on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And it's good to have those days. You know, those days, there's days that you have great days and things are all working for you, and then you have humbling days.
Right.
And jiu-jitsu is something that will teach you some humility.
Right.
Yeah. But that's what it was. And I try to teach the kids that because they have days that they don't feel like going. And this happened to Joey. He complains and does not want to go and does not want to go. And he's like, do we have to go today? And that was the last time he went. It was one of the days that he got a stripe.
Aw, yeah.
On his belt. And I told him, I was like, look, you were complaining the entire way there. Mm-hmm. You were almost crying in the car.
Aww.
And if you didn't go on that day,
right,
you wouldn't have got that stripe because they don't give them out all the time.
Right. Right.
And you happen to be there and you worked hard and you got a stripe.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to do what you don't want to do.
Yep. It's doing the thing when you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but afterwards, how did you feel?
Oh, you feel amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah. So a lot of people go through that when it comes to working out.
Yeah.
You know, it's just very similar. You go to the gym, it's like, yeah, you're feeling good. And then something comes up and then you start giving yourself all these excuses just like you. And then you go and like you have the best workout ever.
Yeah.
And now you feel good. Like you feel accomplished. You pushed yourself to do the thing.
Yeah.
You know? So no, that's super cool. That was the same thing with me this week with work.
Yeah.
You know, having to go and do those pop buys. And, you know, there was a day where it was raining. And everybody, that's a great excuse not to do anything because it's raining. They say that, you know, if you have a funeral to go, don't ever die, you know, during the monsoon season.
Don't plan your funeral from when it's raining.
Yeah.
Because half the people won't show up.
Because only your mom and dad will be there.
Yeah. So.
But no, it's you know, just feels good to push yourself to do the thing when you don't feel like doing it.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing that.
I don't know if I have one more thing that I wanted to talk about, but go ahead.
I had my first massage.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you bought me one when I was pregnant.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but yeah.
You
probably.
Don't?
I don't know. I think fuck.
It took me forever to use it. I know. That's my thing. He buys me. I have this gift card to a resort for 2. And he bought it for my mother and I for Mother's Day. And I've had it for maybe 4 years.
I think
been that
it
long?
may
3 years?
be even more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been like a high maintenance
No.
girl, but if people see me and they think, yeah, right. No, I've just never have. And what I mean by that is, getting a massage, going to get your nails done, all that. Like I've never, back in the day when I had the time, yeah, but I've never been like a really, now since we've been married and stuff, I've just never been into, tanning or massaging. I'll get my nails done here and there. And so anyways, yeah. Why are you bringing up old stuff? Because it's
you know what?
on my desk.
Let me give a tip for all the women that listen. Okay. This is something that's really good. For those of you that haven't been to a resort, like to a really, really nice place, one of the things that you can do, because if you look at their packages are like $500, $600, $700. But one of the things that you can do, that we figured out, and you can even get your girls together and go all together, is schedule an appointment for early in the morning to get just a manicure or a pedicure. Now, you're going to pay more than you would at normally a nail salon, right?
Right.
But you can hang out the rest of the day at the resort. Mm-hmm. So even if a manicure is $40 or I don't know, what does a manicure cost?
Depends on what type of manicure.
Or like $20?
Negative.
$30?
30.
Okay. So let's say
minimum.
You paid $50 at a resort, but you spend the entire day there. Just go swimming in the pool, go to their eucalyptus rooms, go to the steam room.
That's my fave.
Just hang out all day. And the atmosphere is super nice.
Yeah.
And you don't have to spend the $700.
Yeah. Well, you introduced me to that because I would have never bought me, what I'm saying?
I mean,
at a resort
we can do it together.
Yeah.
I can get, I don't fucking know what the hell they would do to me. I'd be like, don't touch me. All right. Here, just take $50 and let me fucking hang out here. You
are like that. Anyways, we will use it. I've already talked to my mom.
I only like people at jiu-jitsu touching
So I'm going to
me.
use our gift card to the resort. Anyways, so I had a masseuse come to the house on Friday, and
it was amazing.
it was the best. No, I can't say the best experience because we've had many good experiences. But ladies, let me tell you, if you've never gotten a massage, it's time to get one. I felt drunk afterwards. I felt so light as a feather. I was dizzy. And that's the same day we had the concert. Yeah. Don't ever get a massage right before the concert. Okay. Like I had to drink coffee. Like I could have fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm not a napper.
That's probably a day to just chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it felt so good. And so anyways, I'm going to put that on my agenda.
Yeah.
Massage
every once in a while.
No, every month they say you should get 2 a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And she came to the house, so she set up in the bedroom. I got to light my candle.
Well,
she put her music on.
If you're located on the east side of Phoenix, I don't know where she travels to, but you can hit Sonja up and maybe she can hook you up. So, yeah. Apparently you recommend.
Oh, highly.
Okay.
Highly recommend her, and she's definitely affordable. So
okay, awesome.
Yay! You need to try it.
Maybe I'll give it. I have had a massage before, and
like a real massage though.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the whole.
Oh Jesus! No, I remember I had a hard. Yeah, somebody they would fucking dropping knees into my back. I'm like, oh
no,
shit.
It some of it because I was so tense. Like,
yeah,
it's intense. It is.
Well, you know what? I think a massage might hurt more than a tattoo. Like if you get one of those fucking deep tissue massages.
Yeah.
I mean, they can be pain. I remember I was like, fuck, man, this hurts.
You're like, never again. No.
She's like, are you doing okay there? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, how's this girl doing so much freaking damage right now? I was like, fuck this. I'm never coming back.
And you never went back.
And I never went back.
Oh, no.
I just need to just go like this to me. Just run your hands down my back or whatever.
I know.
But, so one thing that I wanted to mention before we get out of here, it's already been an hour.
What?
It's already been an hour. So one thing that I wanted to mention.
This is going to go for the...
That's what you always say. But one thing I wanted to mention before we get out of here, which might take a few minutes, but for those of you that want to start something, like for us, it was the podcast. Mm-hmm. But it's been with everything, with the podcast, with Trust Inc., with the baby hats business, with all the different things that we've done. When it's something that you want, it kind of stays at the front of your mind, and
Right.
you're always thinking. You're always thinking about stuff, or at least we are, or
Yeah.
I am. Like,
Yeah.
it's just constantly running through my mind. Like, I'll be brushing my teeth, and you're like, "What are you thinking about?" There's two things that I'm always thinking about,
Jiu-jitsu?
and the podcast.
Yeah.
That's it. He's like,
I
"What are you
should-
thinking about?" I'm like, "Jiu-jitsu." I'm doing moves in my head, or if not that, I'm thinking about ways to grow the podcast, or what we're
Yeah.
gonna do about the podcast.
Yeah.
So, and with the podcast, like I've already mentioned, I'm gonna make videos on how to start your own podcast for less than $100 or
It's gonna
whatever.
be awesome. Yeah.
But the reason for that is, well, for one, to help people figure out how they can start a podcast.
Yes.
But it's gonna come from our YouTube channel, which will attract people to our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then we decided to get the lights, and we're gonna invite guests, and that also will help grow the podcast.
Right.
The other thing that I just talked to you about is, I mean, there's things that happen in the world that are trending, that are popular, that if you talk about it, you tag your podcast with that stuff, and you put it in the title of the podcast, and it becomes more relevant, and it grows the podcast more.
Right.
That's just part of creativity, like being creative on how you're going to grow the business. Like you with the social media, doing the Facebook Live and all that stuff. Trust Inc. is the same thing. Like your pop buys that you do,
Yes.
that's all part of creativity.
Yes.
Like when you have a business, you have to think of creative ways to
Yep.
grow that business.
You got to think outside the box.
Like you were telling me about the signing company. So a signing company is a company that hires Sonia to go do signings for her. Most people will sign with a signing company so that they can get work, so that they can go out and do signings and get paid. Sonia looks at it a little bit different. Like the way you look at it was, I'll sign up with the signing company, and then I'll do the work, and then I'm gonna go drop off the documents.
Like a thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a pop by.
But then they get to know
a
you.
gift. Yeah.
And then you can start working with the title companies or whatever. But we also, like, even with the cute baby hats stuff, like I think, didn't we go to like some wedding convention thing
Yeah.
for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
We went, there's like this festival that they have in Phoenix, First Fridays. We used to go to that and sell it.
Yeah.
We had the website. When there's something that you want, you're always thinking about it, and
Right.
you think of creative ways to grow it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's you just got to think creatively about how to grow the business.
And that's the thing. Like, you can't expect, like, I know that I'm not great at all things.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm good at marketing. I know that I'm good at bringing in the clientele. Now, all the little behind the scenes stuff, like the taxes and everything,
Yeah.
I mean, you handle all that portion, and they always say, hire someone, hire your weakness when you get there. And I know that Trust Inc. is going to get there if I continue to build it the way, I'm building it. So
Yeah.
know that, you always hear find someone, partner with someone, because a lot of people get stuck and they give up because they feel that they can't do everything. They
Yeah.
don't have enough time to do everything. But not only that, find what it is that you're good at and know what you're not good at, and find someone that's really good at that can help you, grow your business.
Yeah.
And I think
that's
that's so important, because I was trying to do everything and realize that it's not going to work. Even like with Legal Shield,
Yeah.
now I have, an organization that is very on top of their game. And it's funny because even though they're new in Legal Shield, I'm learning a lot from them.
Yeah. You can always learn.
Yeah.
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 That's an attitude that I've always had. And I've, there could be a new guy when I was doing sheet metal work. Like, hey, just because I've been doing this for a long time and I'm really good at it, doesn't mean that I can't learn something new from somebody else.
Right.
That's
Never
that's
stop
a good
growing.
attitude to
Yeah.
keep, because you just keep learning.
Right.
There's I think it was in Think and Grow Rich. There was a quote. I think it was when Benjamin Franklin was young. You guys didn't know we were going to get into this, did you? Benjamin Franklin? Yeah. Anyway, but he apparently, I think, I may be wrong, but he was like real cocky and arrogant when he was young. And somebody told him, it was to the effect of like, you'll never know more than what you know now. Like if you keep that attitude, you'll never know more than what you know now.
Right.
And, it makes sense. So,
Yep. Continue to grow, continue to feed into you.
Yep. So,
Yay.
yeah, that's good. So anyway, thank you guys for being with us.
Yes.
We've reached the end of the podcast. We want to thank you guys for listening, for supporting the show. You can go to oppositesattractpod.com to check out the show and everything else, and trustincusa.com. And we thank you guys for being here.
Have an amazing week.
Yeah, have an amazing week, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.